Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you. Where's all our Paul's pals this morning? Is it too cold to get up?
Yes.
Well, if somebody would have told me, I would have slept in. But it's Thursday of the big week, of the big weekend, and you'll hear this a number of times so that people don't have to pay lots of money to advertise with it. The big game, which is coming up this weekend. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still Thursday, the 4th day of February, the 35th day of 2021. There are 330 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And it's a gift to wake up with you, and it's a gift to be with the team. Marie Osborne just finished our WJR News. Thank you, Riri. We appreciate that. You have a very formal-looking house. Very formal.
I do?
It does look formal to me.
It's a fun house.
I'm sure. I'm sure. With you and John there, it's got to be a fun house. I don't doubt that. Dana Clark, Dana with Traffic and Weather.
Hello.
Maybe tomorrow. You're
How you
already
doing?
on top of that. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Brian Morton is in the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building, pushing all the right buttons in the studio that we barely remember from last March. Kim has been up far too early. Far too early. She was sending things hours ago. Down the line here. Thank you, sweetheart. We appreciate that. Seems like I hear a radio or something in the background.
Sorry. TV.
There it is. My ears, as Kim says, you have such good selective hearing. And I guess it's true once I get headphones on, but anyway. Our executive producer running the show by the clock, the grandfather's clock, on camera for the first 45 minutes of the show at WJR.com and WJR's Facebook page, Miss Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Dub. Happy Friday Eve.
Happy Friday Eve to you. Boy, is that a nice one. That's a good one. Although I'm told, you can back me up on this, Dana and Marie and Ann. All of you pay attention to the weather more than I do. I understand the weather is going to be, how do we say, memorable.
Dastardly. I say dicey.
Winter weather advisory.
Yep.
Starts this afternoon at 4 o'clock all the way through 4 o'clock tomorrow, guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And when they start warning you about how cold it's
4
gonna be-
a.m., Marie. 4 a.m., sorry. 4 p.m. I have here to 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. this
4
afternoon, 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, okay, 4 to 4. All right, so
Yeah.
whatever, it's too long. And and it's not like snow like it is across the Northeast as much as it is. I from what I heard, I fast forward through the weather when I watch the news, frankly. And I love the weather guys. They're all great guys, but I always say, what am I going to do about it? So, but everyone wants to know the weather. But it's all cold temperatures from what I'm hearing.
Cold here on out.
More than snow. I mean, there'll be snow, but not like the snow of a foot in New York City or 2 feet or whatever. But bitter cold. How cold does it have to be considered bitter cold?
Single digits.
I'd say right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been pretty cold for quite a while. But I the coldest I remember it being lately was 12, but I'm sure it was colder than that lately.
This goes back to 2019, so it's been a couple years since we've had this really cold weather.
How do you like this thought? And I want to know what you guys are thinking this morning and what's on your mind. But I saw this. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept.
Oh, I like that.
Angela Davis.
I like that a lot.
Angela Davis said that. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. A little different than the old prayer, right?
Serenity prayer, right?
Yeah. 542 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
Let's check it here at 5:43. Our WJR Traffic and Weather first, and Dana Clark.
We do have emergency bridge repairs happening. Well, an accident happened yesterday. So let me start there. 75 southbound between 7 Mile and McNichols. That is completely closed for construction. Seeing traffic already backed up from at least 8 Mile. That's closed until further notice for emergency bridge repairs following an accident that happened Wednesday afternoon there. Expected possibly to be open sometime later this morning, but avoid the area. You can take Woodward instead. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. Interior trim, load floors, instrument panels, visors, steering wheels, seating. If it's in the car, Primetime tests it. They are the automotive industry's most accurate result reporting and guaranteed on-time delivery for your next automotive project. Get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com.
Continuing to push the snow for the forecast. We're going to stack it up to a few inches as we head on through tonight. It'll be becoming cloudy as we go through this morning. Mostly cloudy this afternoon, 34. Tonight, snow developing, windy at times, 3 to 5 inches of snow overnight through early tomorrow. And then windy and cloudy tomorrow with highs only in the upper 20s. And then maybe only in the mid to upper teens for highs over the weekend. Lows in the single digits. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Thanks, Ray. And 20 degrees right now. And this is perfect timing given what we're told are going to be these extremely low temperatures that Ray just mentioned also. Today is National Homemade Soup Day. Perfect timing. Make a big batch of that. I'm kind of directing this to Marie. Make a big batch of that.
We can't get it, though.
But she can fax it to us. I don't even have a fax machine anymore. I can't even say that anymore. But a big batch of that goes in the refrigerator and lasts a few days and only seems to get better each day. Homemade soup, yeah. Well, I miss Kim's love soup.
We know.
I miss that love soup, that chicken soup that's just good. And she started making it with turkey, too, though. It was just as good. We've got Rush Limbaugh, who is generally with us noon to 3 as he continues his gallant fight against lung cancer. I know he wasn't on yesterday. Hopefully he can be on today from noon to 3, but I know he's here at 5:45.
Well, here we go again. Los Angeles Times claims that 75 years ago, American leaders knew they didn't have to drop atomic bombs on Japan to win World War II, but evil America dropped the bombs anyway. Gar Alperovitz and Martin Sherwin, a couple of old leftist historians, say that according to overwhelming evidence, Japan would have surrendered even without being hit by A-bombs, and that President Truman knew it. Now, both of these historians have made their bones slamming America, and here they are ripping the idea that the bombs were necessary to save American lives. But leftist history revisionism does not change the facts. The opposition that our military faced in clearing the outer islands of Japan in World War II was incredibly fierce. U.S. military planners calculated that an invasion of Japan could cost upward of 1 million American military lives. We had the bomb and we used it. We saved lives. And after we dropped the first bomb, the Japanese still wouldn't surrender. So you know what we did? We dropped the second one and they finally gave up. See, America, we were attacked by Japan. We went to war. We won. But liberals, never will they stop trying to paint America as the worst force for evil in the world. They hate this country. They hate our history. They think we're the problem in the world when it is they who are.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR. Thank goodness this is a show filled with love. Sometimes I have to remind us that. So
Yes, thank you.
the snow that falls tonight will be a wet snow, as you know, heavy wet snow, and then because we might get some rain on top of that. This coming, I honestly don't pay attention to this. Kim's telling me, reminding me that we should remind our friends here at Paul's Pals, especially right now, that snow will freeze into a solid hunk that will be very difficult to remove. So I would suggest, beyond that, don't try to move it. I saw a picture of a guy. I saw in a newscast, a 74-year-old man saying with a shovel, going, "This gets harder every time." You're going to die. You are going to die. Stop it. At 74, it's not so important that you move that snow.
There's got to be some young, healthy kids out there who could.
Would
Give them a
somebody
few
like to
bucks.
come at my house and talk to the guy I live with too?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
no, don't tell me that.
What?
John is not out there shoveling snow.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
He is?
please.
Now he has a blower. Now he does have a blower. John's in great shape. He's
Okay.
got a blower and all this stuff, but he likes to
He
shovel.
likes to.
And
Well-
I'm like, I don't want to look out the window.
Right.
Ann likes to shovel
Yeah,
snow.
she's a nobody,
Ann, are you also a
She-
shoveler?
she's
Have you grown
never-
out of that, Ann?
but she never has shoveled our
Ann?
snow.
Periodically, I'll shovel snow, but I'm
still-
getting a little bit. I'm getting a little better. I don't go out there every.
At not doing it.
I'm getting better at not doing it.
There was a time.
There was a
I
I really love it. I agree
love
with
shoveling the snow.
But you know what? I absolutely do love it. It's wonderful exercise.
It is wonderful.
It's not hard for me to do, but I do understand what Paul is saying.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. And any doctor will tell you after a certain I think the age is pretty young, like 45.
I would say 40.
Is
I would
40?
say
What?
40 just to be
Yeah.
safe, because the cold air
Yeah, right. It
constricts your veins, your
Yeah.
arteries, and it causes trouble, even for people in pretty good shape.
yeah, that's
It's
what
just-
they say.
And just to be safe, I decided to stop shoveling.
You're
at
hearing
20.
the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Me
That's
too,
cute.
Paul W.
And mowing the lawn too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just quit
arduous
all of it.
all right. Snow tonight a little, and then the rain if there's rain, and then the ice, and then the blah, 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 and the cold temperatures. We're just saying, don't get out there and shovel the snow. You don't really need to. I swear you don't. I know it's slippery, and that's bad. There's shouldn't be anybody out walking too much.
Nobody's
right now,
coming over except
generally
DoorDash.
speaking.
Nobody's coming. Well,
So-
the delivery people, we got to
Right.
take care of them.
Yes.
Well, we do have to be careful with that. And we should have salt or whatever the latest chemical is that doesn't hurt the dogs and the cats and everybody else that you can put on it just to try to eat up the ice or keep it from being slippery by your door and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know why, Marie. I'm sorry. It's not fair of me to just keep thinking of you with homemade soup, but
Oh, that's one of my favorite things to make. I have
why am I
whole
not surprised?
I have a whole group of, I have a folder just with good soup recipes
Oh,
and
wow.
that we make. And whenever there's it's a joke now in the family, whenever there's any kind of crisis or
Mhm.
my daughter lives out east in New York, and they just had that huge snowstorm. And she said, she called me day before yesterday. And she goes, "Don't worry, Mom, I've got soup on the stove." Soup on
No
the
matter
stove.
what the
No matter
emergency
the crisis,
is.
no matter the crisis, big or small. The problems we had in Washington, we had a pot of soup on the stove.
Big pot of soup. That pot of soup's still going. So what's your favorite soup to make?
We actually make, I know you guys are going to really laugh at this, but we actually make our own broth. So I roast chicken parts and then we take a pot and we make the stock with that. And that is like liquid gold. We always joke that we're going to sell it to the hospitals as in the ICU. It'll cure everybody, right?
Mhm.
And,
We started doing that too, Marie.
Oh, and it's so good for you. I mean, and not only can you use it for soup, but if you're making, something else like, the first thing I think of is like risotto or rice or something like that. You can use your broth for
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And so it becomes like a staple in your kitchen, right, Ann?
Yeah.
Do you use chicken or do you use beef bones? I
Chicken.
only use chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, we only
But I've
use
heard that the beef bones are really great for you too.
I know my mother always made it like that. Paul, oh, by the way, is it Paul's show or is it our show? Is it
The cooking show.
Let me get my cookies out and start
this
eating, 'cause I'm
early
like-
part of the morning, it's all of our show. I love to hear you guys talking and me not talking. I'll be talking from 6:15 on until 9. You guys should talk right now. I'm just reading that Andy Warhol,
WJR.
Andy Warhol with his Sambo's soup can art of the 60s, people paid $100 for those
Really?
at that time. Yeah. Did I tell you I must have told you, I was in a promotion with Andy Warhol when I was working in New York.
Yes.
It was it was a grocery store thing. What were those things called when people would run through the grocery store with a clock and you'd put in as much stuff as you could, and then they would go through the checkout, and whoever had the most money on food. So you'd go for the most expensive things, like the meat department or whatever. But to see Andy Warhol with me out there running down the aisles with a cart was the craziest, funniest thing ever. And I'm sure I had pictures taken with him. Have no idea where they are. But that was a long time ago. But it was a fundraiser. And there used to be television shows. Supermarket Dash or Sweepstakes. I don't know what it was.
Pretty entertaining, actually.
I was just, since we're talking soup and I'm looking at this, we eat or drink soup. Which do we do? Do we eat soup or drink soup?
Eat.
It. Yeah.
In most cultures, soup is a part of the meal. According to etiquette experts, since we consume soup with a spoon as opposed to sipping it from a bowl, we do eat it. Although, am I the only one that sometimes picks up that bowl to finish the last part of soup? I know it's not good etiquette, but
no.
Yes,
I do that. I do that. I can't help it sometimes. You can't get that last bit of soup, and it's so good. It's also National Stuffed Mushroom Day. Do any of you stuff mushrooms at home?
Love mushrooms.
It's a good appetizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 90% water. One portobello mushroom has more potassium than a banana. Wow.
Yeah.
The French were some of the first to popularize the mushroom in the 19th century. Before the French, pharaohs prized mushrooms as a delicacy, and Greeks believed that mushrooms provided strength in battle. We will go to war with the heathens tomorrow. Give me a cheese and mushroom pizza, please.
Well, you know that they use pigs to hunt the truffles.
Yes.
They're specially trained pigs that have these sniffers that can sniff out that truffle.
Right.
And the best part is they have to beat they have to hit the pig over the head with not a bat or anything, but with a little stick to have him release the
They won't let go of the mushroom. Nobody trained those pigs very well. If they'd be like hunters not getting the duck out of the dog's mouth. Come on. Let it up. Let it go. That's my duck. Well, I didn't know that, Marie.
A little strange.
You learn something new every day on the
Little
Paul
mushroom,
Show.
little pig story, little truffle story.
Valuable information, I might add.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? It doesn't get any more valuable than that next time we're out looking for mushrooms. Michigan's very big on morels, and morels are spectacular mushrooms.
And those secret hiding places, people do not give them up.
Well, I tell you, I love them, but I never like to say never. Never say never, but I'm never going to trust myself to be a mushroom hunter because I know there are dangerous ones out there. And that scares me even when I'm in a good place, a good restaurant. I go, I hope they knew what they were doing. They were looking for their mushrooms. Are those called toadstools? The bad ones? Toadstools?
Well, there's all kinds of bad ones. There's one called the Trumpet of Death.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yes, there's one called the Trumpet of Death.
Could I have a salad with some trumpet? But don't put any dressing on it because dressing is really bad for me.
Right.
The Trumpet of Death.
Wow.
Yikes. It is 5:56 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
Let's check in our WJR traffic and weather first. Miss Dana Clark.
We have a closure this morning, not due to an accident, due to emergency bridge repair. 75 southbound between 7 Mile and McNichols. That's closed until further notice. Emergency bridge repairs following an accident that happened yesterday afternoon. Traffic backed up from at least 9 Mile. Just avoid the area. You can take Woodward instead. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Clarkston Window and Door. Over 31 years in business, over 450 combined years of experience installing windows. Trusted specialists at Clarkston Window and Door. Act now to take advantage of 31% off installed windows, doors, and garage doors. 248-338-6781 or clarkstonwindow.com. Mostly clear skies, 19 degrees at winter weather advisory in effect 4 p.m. until 4 a.m. We are expecting some wet, heavy snow. Today, your temp is going to go up to 36, tonight down to 22, 3 to 5 inches before it's all said and done. Then Friday, cloudy, a few flurries or snow showers possible, and a high of 26. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in 2 minutes.
That is, of course, where Marie has to disappear to. I just realized that she has to leave. We don't even get to say goodbye to her, but she's going and getting ready for her newscast in 2 minutes that you'll hear on 760 on the AM dial, but not here, so that we can get some things done. But we include all of our Paul's pals here that tune in online. They get to see how we put certain things together. By the way, I can't let this one go because I have to go back and forth between private chat and comments because Brian can't talk to me in these headphones. Brian says he shovels every time it snows. Right. It's not hard, and it's good exercise. Brian, are you nuts?
Yes, he is.
That's all I'm going to say, Brian.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'll answer for him. Yes. So
that's crazy. I need to ask you, though, a technical question. Okay. Last night, I printed a couple of things, and then when I went through the rundown, I have no idea why I printed them. Oh. Did you add anything to the printed rundown? You probably told me, but I totally forgot.
No, I actually subtracted.
Well, I know Arn is gone. Yeah, I saw that Arn is gone. I
so there was there were talking points that went with Arn that he had specific things he wanted to discuss this morning. So that was one. Vanessa Fry had a list of. There was a list of.
I have Vanessa Fry.
That Dana will make fun of us about, because Dana, the interview coming at 6:18 is about having smaller Super Bowl gatherings, which is very nice, but healthier. And one of the suggestions that I think you and Paul will make fun of is adding brown rice to the dishes.
Oh, that's I could go for that.
Oh, what a party this is.
That's not too bright. Oh, well, look at the time.
For some people, they're having a party just alone at home like me. And it's probably because I was serving brown rice.
Right, exactly.
Not because of the pandemic. Okay, so why did I print Representative Thomas Albert, chair of the House Appropriations Committee?
That may go with Pam Hornberger at 7:35 because that's the House, probably the House story.
Okay.
With regard to how they're finishing up their COVID bill and putting in some pretty tough demands to the governor.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that may be.
I'll put that over in this pile. Yes. See, I have piles here.
That's good. Piles are good. And then you saw the Grayson clothiers coming to Detroit, which is a cool story.
You've talked to him before because he's the guy who
loved talking to you.
Ralph Lauren took under his. What's that?
They sent a note saying he loved talking.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
They sent a note saying that he loved.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that, but you remember we talked. We talked to a young guy at the time, who Ralph Lauren had pretty much taken under his wing, and then he decided to go off on his own, and Ralph Lauren gave him his blessing. I remember all this.
I felt bad.
I don't know how long ago that was.
I felt bad, though, to hear that the Varvatos store had closed. I liked that. It was kind of a cool store, and it was great that he was in Detroit.
Yeah, well, it was a big deal when he opened. But he's, I mean, with all due respect, that's great, and his Detroit connection and everything, but he's not cheap.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination. I saw, Dana, and you were the first on the list that said you liked this, Greg Russell's Fun in Detroit. I guess this is Instagram maybe, and he shows this Day Drinker Texas bourbon. Do you remember liking that? Because your name is under it. Like,
Oh, is it?
Dana Clark 13.
Yes.
Well, anyway,
I like some bourbon.
try to. You know what? I went to Jerry's yesterday, and he has that Detroit City Distillery's bourbon.
Oh, does he? Okay.
He's got the bourbon. He's got the other stuff. But you know what he gave me? I'll show you something very quickly if I can find it very quickly.
Is that your like cute little outing? You go say hi to
do.
Jerry.
It's down the street.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like it's my going out.
Right.
Jerry's COVID friend.
Yeah.
A little farther away, but still very close, is Fresh Farms. So I see the boys there,
Yeah.
and
go
I see
visit.
Jerry. Like that's my whole social world. And,
Yeah.
Bubble.
and it's my bubble, and I pick
Yeah.
up. Look what he told me he was going to do this. Look
Oh,
what
you got your eggs.
he gave them to me
Oh,
yesterday.
They look so fresh.
I'm going to have to open that.
So fresh
egg.
and so clean. Yeah, you need to use the egg thing.
I need to
Now.
use the egg thing, but I want to thank. I got to.
Why don't we? How long does it take, Annie? We should do that on the air one morning.
Oh no!
It takes 10, Dana.
No.
You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
you
It
could-
takes
you
10
could-
full minutes. That's it.
Okay, we should
So
do
this is-
that.
I just want to say, Sue, Jerry's wife, who I don't think I've ever met,
Uh-huh.
Sue and Jerry Stocking. Because I always say Jerry's, and I said, Jerry, I don't even know your last name. So Sue and Jerry Stocking, Jerry's on Kercheval,
Okay.
and they are getting, this is the big news, a shipment of that Detroit City Distillery
Oh,
Punchki vodka
great.
on Friday. And I said, how's that possible? They sold out, but they
Yeah.
did say they're in stores,
Mm-hmm.
and stores get deliveries on certain days, and he gets his delivery Friday, tomorrow.
That's
So,
great.
Not a lot, but if you're looking for that Punchki vodka, Jerry's on Kercheval is going to have it. So anyway, Marie, you missed. I had a picture of the fresh eggs from Mrs. Stocking that Jerry gave me yesterday when I stopped by, and they're apparently all healthy eggs are brown eggs. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
these are
Really?
raised by Mrs. Stocking,
Hmm.
and they're all very healthy. And
Where did you find these, Jerry?
well, this was Jerry's. I've talked about.
Yeah.
We're talking. I have a small little world that I live in during the pandemic. For a long time, I didn't go out anywhere, do anything, but I have ventured out a little bit, and Jerry's is the little bodega, little store down the street. That's very close that I go to and get different things. He's a liquor store. He's like a regular grocery store, like my grandma Sadie used to have in Monroe,
Mhm.
Beatrice Market. They came here from Lebanon. They started working. They never stopped.
The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you, or as Ann would say, Friday's Eve. It's the 4th day of February, the 35th day of 2021. I'm getting ahead of myself. There are 330 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And what I was talking about in the break with the team, and for people watching online, they get a little behind the scenes information because we put the show together, and Ann and I talk and go over some things. But I was talking about Jerry's and Sue and Jerry Stocking at Jerry's on Kercheval, and gave me some fresh eggs from their chickens that they have at home that they got at the beginning of the pandemic. And these chickens are laying eggs like crazy.
Mm.
And not being,
Do they lay a day? Did they mention?
I think 1 month he had over 100 eggs, I think he said.
Wow.
Well, he must have a lot of chickens because chickens don't lay more than 1 or 2 eggs a day.
Really?
So he must have a lot of chickens.
He showed me a picture of the chicken. She sets up little games for them, and
Oh.
there's corn hanging down for a thing, and they peck at it and all of that.
Oh, they
But
must
here's-
be happy.
Yes.
They're happy chickens. They're organic. They don't have any bad chemicals. It's only good feed or whatever
Wow.
the chicken thing is. But not being not growing up on a farm or anything, there were a few things I didn't know. Remember the year that I talked about turkeys on our roof at the old house? we heard noises on the roof. What the heck? And we went out. We couldn't see anything. And one day, Kim ran out and she saw that we had turkeys on the roof. And I foolishly said on the air, turkeys on the roof? I didn't know turkeys could fly. And I was lambasted and beaten up by our listeners who explained to me, you just know domestic turkeys, like the kind you have for Thanksgiving and all that. Domestic turkeys don't fly. But wild turkeys fly, and they're hunted. Who knew? Here's the next one. So I said to Jerry, how many roosters and how many chickens? And he said, we don't have any roosters. Then I said, how do you get eggs?
Oh, no.
I didn't know chickens.
Oh.
I thought that there was a little, interaction.
A little interaction.
Chicken delight to get the eggs. What do I know? I did not grow up
A
on
little
a farm.
dinner first.
I don't.
Candlelight.
Movie.
Soft music.
Chickens were talking about the movie they saw last night.
Right.
Anyway, so
my place. Maybe there's a chicken Tinder. Have you thought about that?
Oh,
the
good
dating
one,
app.
Marie. Yeah, swipe left.
Never know.
Swipe right.
Chicken Tinder.
chicken tender.
Not tender. Tinder.
Oh, chicken Tinder.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
McDonald's does have chicken Tinder.
I don't know anything about the Tinder app, though. Not one.
No, you don't.
We don't know anything.
Here's the only thing I've ever heard. And by the way, did I say something? Roosters and hens. That's what they used to be. Chickens and roosters. Well, hens and roosters. Okay. But you don't need the rooster. You don't need the male is the thing. And I'm just here to say that women are paying attention and saying,
right.
don't need a man?
Right.
Yeah, I can hire some kid to take the garbage out. Anyway, what was the last thing you just said, Marie?
And shovel snow.
About Tinder.
Oh.
I've never gone to Tinder, ever. But here's what I've heard, because I observe. Swipe left, swipe right.
Yes.
I don't know what it means, other than it must have to do with the choice process, or I like them or I don't like them, or whatever.
Yes.
That's all I know.
You're right.
Swipe left, swipe right. People have used it in expressions regarding other things. I guess. Here's another thing that's. Did any of you have anything else you wanted to?
I have one important thing with regard to phones. This is something I'm just seeing this morning. Henry Ford doctors have spotted a fatal iPhone 12 problem.
Fatal.
Fatal. This phone, the iPhone 12, according to the docs at Henry Ford, can disable pacemakers and defibrillators.
Holy! You know what? That there was a report on that I thought Apple had to come out and tell us that, but the Henry Ford doctors are the ones that discovered it.
They're the ones that discovered it, and they have written about it in a medical journal called Heart Rhythm. So now Apple has responded. And this is important because
very important.
A lot of people do have pacemakers and defibrillators, and Apple is saying, okay, well, here's the fix. Just keep the phone away from people.
Oh, no, that's not going to work.
I'm surprised Apple didn't say, just remove the pacemaker.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, I have heard that before, though. There have been other times that people have been concerned about what the cell phone will affect in terms of stuff you might have in your body. But that's good that they're pointing it out again. Now, of course, this is the trouble of being a talk show host. My wife is writing, Kim is writing, sweet Kim, I love her so much. Why would, all caps, why would you go to Tinder? You're happily coupled already.
Bam.
I know that was coming.
I just said, to be clear, because I've never gone to Tinder. I mean, I go places sometimes.
You knew a lot about that right-left stuff. I don't know.
I read a lot. I check things out because I'm a talk show host. But I was just pointing out, I've never gone to Tinder. Certainly, I don't need to go to Tinder. I have no desire to go to Tinder, other than at times I've thought, I just wonder what that is. And how can people hook up online like that? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, sweetheart, I
can hear that conversation later.
No, she's not like this. She's
I think she's teasing.
She's not very jealous. Anyway,
Oh.
no, she's just teasing. I got to say this, though. Here we have the story that I took out of the Free Press. Let them play. Parents ask court for injunction on MDHSS order against prep winter sports. Okay. Then we have somebody saying CDC director says schools can safely reopen without vaccinating teachers. That I'm sure is going over big. But finally, what sticks with me, I'm not kidding. I think of this. I'm not going to say I lay awake at night at bed, because by the time I go to bed, I'm so exhausted. I don't ever lay awake at bed. But Dr. Sims, the infectious disease specialist from Beaumont Hospital, saying, I'm keeping my kids home from school, and no, they're not participating in sports.
I thought that was such an important thing he said to you, Paul. Just a bit of information for people to think about.
I always pay attention to what those in the know do themselves personally. And I sometimes it drives people crazy, but I've asked people in certain situations, what do you do? Well, what would you do? I mean, I do that because, I mean, somebody's telling me something and they're giving me the choice. Well, you know, you could do this or you could do that. Oh, okay. I appreciate that, but you're the expert. What would you do? What would you do for your kids, your family? That means a lot to me.
Me too.
Generally,
Me too.
it is 6:13 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
Jane says, you realize the MDHHS works for the governor, so the only thoughts and ideas they have come from her. Interesting. Also, Don says all smartphones, not just the iPhones, are affecting a lot in a lot of different ways, and relationships and all of that, especially if you can't put them down when your spouse is trying to talk to you. Someone said I'm in the chicken house. I mean dog house.
Patrick.
We got a lot of nice comments. We love interacting with you, our WJR listeners, whether it's via the phone or the computer or however we do it. We're open for it all. And right now we're open for our WJR Traffic and Weather First, and Miss Dana Clark.
Right now, 75 southbound between 7 Mile and McNichols closed there due to emergency bridge repairs. An accident happened yesterday, so expect that to be closed throughout the morning. Could open by afternoon drive, but then that's really when it starts to get messy. So just avoid the area. You can take Woodward instead. Traffic is backed up from at least 9 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. For over 20 years, they have been offering complete automotive testing services, guaranteeing on-time delivery and accurate result reporting to OEMs, Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers. For your next automotive project, get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com.
Snow is on the way and probably going to see accumulating snowfall for the nighttime hours tonight. Becoming cloudy today for not already 34 periods of snow developing tonight, 24. So it does stick. Could be blowing around a little bit too with a gusty south breeze, maybe 3 to 5 inches of snow by tomorrow morning. And then on Friday, the snow should be ending, mainly cloudy, windy, highs only in the upper 20s with even colder air by the weekend. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.